Hello, welcome to the Quarantine Cup Semifinals. This is Quarantine Cup number 52, which means this thing has been going on a whole year. As you all realize, the quarantine's been going on a whole year as well. I took first, I believe, in the group stage, sort of the free play stage, with 6 wins and 3 losses. Xerix was second with 4 wins, 1 loss. Poker 1, 2, 3 with 4 wins and 1 loss. And SSounder here with 3 wins and 1 loss, including 1 win against me. So I'm looking to get revenge here. Let's take a look at this kingdom. A lot of stuff going on. You're probably going to score mostly with provinces here. You could pick up a couple of poachers, it looks like. You're going to get quite thin with monastery. Poachers are maybe going to be okay. I don't expect any of the piles to empty quickly. Looking at each of the piles, none of them jump out to me as wanting to end quickly. Village Green is maybe an exception. Village Green has some really nice synergies here with Mill, Poacher, Catacombs, Vault. Wow, those are all like amazing synergies. So I'm going to take a Militia here and a Monastery. I want to try to get thin, get the attack in with the Militia, pick up the Vaults, pick up the Village Greens. In theory, you can play Vault and then discard the Village Greens, and then you don't. You're just getting a ton of actions out of that all the time and a really good value. So that's what I'm going to be doing. They got a silver. Silver seems bad with Lucky Coin in these decks. So I'm going to go straight for the Monastery. With 3 here, I'll pick up a Fool. It seems better than nothing. And again, I'm going to have a ton of Village Greens in the deck. That's probably the pile that will empty. So if I'm lost in the woods, I can discard the Village Green at the start of the turn and start with 5 cards, 2 actions, and a boon, which is real nice. And because I gained the silver, I can trash an extra copper here, which is great. And I do hit 5. I had said I was going to get Vault with my first 5, but I have a lot of terminals still. So I think I'm going to grab a Village Green for 5, given that I have a Militia and a Fool, and hopefully start getting two things at once. Two cards a turn coming up here fairly soon. Not the greatest hand here, 3 coppers. This will probably be 1 silver. I could also get another Monastery. Getting thin is really important to me here. But I think I'm going to be drawing soon enough, so I'll just get the silver and trash a estate. They've picked up a Catacombs now. They've got 2 Catacombs Monastery, so they seem to be playing a more money-ish type of strategy. I feel like, I guess you could say you're limited on plus buy here, so the money-ish strategy will do well. But Village Green, play next turn. I can also turtle it, which essentially does nothing, but all right, so I can put something for the discard pile on top, which I will put the Monastery on top. Look at 4, discard everything except for the Monastery. I guess I'll keep the Lucky Coin because that lets me get another trash. I don't want a gold. And here I'll pick up the Catacombs. I can also consider getting a second Village Green, but there's a good chance with Catacombs that I'll find the Village Green first, and if not, I've got an even decent chance to find it in those first 3 cards and discard it. So the other thing I consider is the Vault here. I had said Vault is very good. Vault interacts with Village Green when it's in your hand. Catacombs interacts with it when it's in the top 3 cards of the deck. But I think I'll just get the Catacombs here. I want to get my draw going. I will take 1 boon. This was not really what I wanted to see. I really want to get another Village Green here. And trash. And I can only trash 1. Yeah, that kind of went badly. Plus 1 card at the end of the turn. That seems pretty nice. So I've got a Village Green down there and a Catacombs. I could next turn this, but I think I just want to get the attack in. And I will buy now a Vault, I think, with 2 Catacombs, 2 Village Greens. Ideally, I never actually have to play the Village Greens as normal. I can also consider getting poachers at some point, and I can consider stop playing the militia potentially if they're going to react consistently with village green, which seems like that is something that will happen. So they've got their village greens going now. They had them both in hand when I played the militia, two in hand out of the deck, which is a little bit unlucky, but it is what it is. Since we're buy limited here, we have to consider moving towards greening earlier than we might otherwise. So discard those 3 and play that next turn. I'm hoping to grab a Forest's Gift or an Earth's Gift fairly soon. Get an extra village green, so if I can get like 2 village greens in a turn, like a village green poacher, village green mill. I've also trashed estates that they haven't trashed, so they have a little bit of a VP lead on me, which could be problematic in the single game kingdom. But if they never get the Fool, then I will eventually get that Earth's Gift and the Forest's Gift, and I can use those to pick up poacher, which is worth 2, mill's worth 1, and then another engine piece. And I'm actually fairly close to greening here. Play the village green first. Okay, that's fine. Put the catacombs. Discard that. Okay, this is great. Play the vault. Discard 2. I don't really want to gain another. I don't really want to gain another silver. So I'm going to discard those and play the village green as next turn. The vault, I guess, also interacts with their village green, which is a little bit annoying. I'm considering already getting a province here, just to get that going. And I can also pick up poacher, village green, mill. Those all seem reasonable. Well, mill doesn't seem reasonable. Poacher and village green seem pretty reasonable here. I think I'm going to get the province now. I feel like my deck's in decent shape, and we're going to be greening fairly early on this kingdom. One thing I can do with village green is I can turtle it and then play it next turn if I felt like I needed to do that. So if they forced me to, so I could stack the village green a few turns in the future. And they just drew 9 off of catacombs, so I assume they're just going to take a province as well to match pace. Play the village green first, discard the province, and take... yes, excellent. So I can get another village green here. I think is better than a poacher for me. And I think I'm going to draw and try to find province this turn if I can. And I can draw 3 with catacombs here. Discard those. Okay, I do need to play the militia, unfortunately, to find the province. They did not have a village green in hand, which is nice. Yeah, I do expect to see turns like this where you just have random 5s because I haven't been able to clean up. I've only trashed a little bit with this monastery. I've skipped it a couple times with catacombs. They haven't actually trashed it all with their monastery, it looks like. So that's good for me. And we'll see if they're able to. It looks like they'll be able to province here. They're having a pretty nice turn. I'm going to grab a poacher, I think, on my turn. It's worth 2 VP. And that'll keep us even in VP. I also have a boon coming up, right? I hope not to get Forest's Gift on this turn. That would be a pretty sad turn to get Forest's Gift. I only have 6 money. But I do have 3 village greens and 3 catacombs down there, so I'm very, very likely to kick off next turn. Okay, well, the thing happened that I said would happen. So I'm getting a poacher. I guess I'm getting one estate just for the tiebreaker, knowing that my deck is very, very likely to kick off next turn. He says, as he doesn't have a hand that can kick off next turn. They've been able to turtle stuff, which maybe is a big advantage for them. I've never felt like I was in a position where I could turtle stuff, even though I feel like we have the same. I have a 1 vault for their catacomb, otherwise the decks feel pretty similar. They should have a harder time drawing deck than me, but I've bottom decked all my villages and draw cards. Unfortunately, they did not find a village green with that. I'm a little confused as to why they didn't discard 3 if they don't see. Okay, so I'm going to discard the U. So they just got a poacher. I'm going to next turn this militia and then buy my own poacher. Keep that 1 VP lead. And again, I've got lots of good stuff coming up. And the militia is now out of the deck if I want it to be. So in terms of game state, I've got an extra village green, an extra poacher. I've got Lost in the Woods. I do have the extra fool in my deck. I've trashed more. I'm going to play both of these as next turn. I could turtle one, actually. What does turtling do? I can always play it at the start of next turn. And if I do draw a Catacombs or a Vault in the top card from the first village green, then I can leave that down as turtled to potentially get another get the value next turn. I'd been describing that earlier and wasn't sure how to phrase it. Okay, so they're hitting 8 and they're going to buy a province. All right, I'm going to play the first village green. I'm going to take Lost in the Woods. I'm going to play the village green because, and I'm going to turtle that. Okay, play the vault first. I knew I had a Catacombs down there. Play that now. Maybe I only have 1 Catacombs in my deck. I thought I had 2. Do they have 4 and I only have 1? Maybe that explains why things aren't working the way I want them to. Okay, this is just province now. And we see if they go for the you only live once province here, or if they decide to start duchy dancing. Yes, indeed. They have 4 catacombs now, and they have 1. Yeah, I must have just I thought there were 5, and I wouldn't have thought they would have 5 in a deck that only had 2, or 4 in a deck that only had 2 village greens. But the interaction there is nice enough that maybe you don't need that many village greens. Although they've had a couple turns where they weren't able to kick off because they had a catacombs and didn't reveal village green in the top 3. My next turn's fairly easy. I discard Monastery to Lost in the Woods and then see where to go from there. I'm almost certainly going to call the militia, play both poachers, and if I can just find 1 more money, then I can buy the last province, if they buy a province. If they don't buy a province, I'll probably just hold the militia on turtle and play both the poachers, and then buy whatever duchy to keep pace. So they've set a bunch of stuff aside, which leads me to believe they're waiting a turn. Depending on what I draw with this poacher, I could even actually turtle the second poacher. Start to get a bunch of stuff turtled, and then it's easy for either of us to province. With 6, I assume they'll take a duchy. It's not completely unreasonable to take like a poacher or an island. I don't know, island feels pretty unreasonable. All right, so Lost in the Woods, discard them. Okay, Will-O-Wisp is nice. I'm going to turtle that. And I will turtle that and buy a duchy to keep pace. Hopefully this poacher finds something, as this is a pretty sad starting hand for me. They had to dead draw the catacombs if they didn't find one of their 2 village greens. Oh, but this is a turtled. This is a turtled catacombs, so that's nice. Yeah, so I don't know if they realize this is the turn after a clean shuffle when if they were to want to province, they could here, and then they would have probably wanted to play the militia, try to high roll that I don't have a village green in hand. But I assume they're probably just going to take another duchy here, and we're duchy dancing. Okay, +1 action is nice. Play the poacher is nice. And I've got 5, so I'm just going to leave the militia down, buy a duchy, trash a copper, not gain another silver. So yeah, because the way this is working, they don't have any way to get a plus buy. And I unfortunately lost my plus buy on a turn where I did get an estate out of it, I guess, which is the tiebreaker estate, which is not nothing. Was I supposed to go first in this game? Yes, I was. Oops, if you've been paying attention. I sit at the table, so this is my own fault. Discard a copper. Don't discard. Turtle. So play the wisp. So I've got a vault on top. So play the village green next turn. Buy a duchy. So it looks like we're going to run down the duchy pile. Then we're going to run down the mill pile or the island pile, something like that. Eventually I'm going to hit Earth's Gift or Field's Gift and get a lead. So this is interesting. I was supposed to have gone first because I was the higher seed, and they're supposed to win in a tie. So what happens if we tie? The second player should win, except they were supposed to have been the second player. So I should just try to win the normal way, because that's an obscure ruling. Okay, so village green is always coming into play. I can discard a province to Lost in the Woods. Okay. Turtle that. Start with the poacher. So I know I have a catacombs down there. I don't really want to play a catacombs right now, so I'll just next turn it. I'll discard both village greens. Yeah, for 2 coins, right? And play 1 next turn and turtle the other. And then I'll turtle these last 2 cards as well. Buy a duchy. Yeah, if we both hold pace here, I just end up winning by 1 point. And now that the fool is turtled, it'll just sit aside for the rest of time. And I've got enough cards turtled that I should not be likely to dud in any situation. They're the same. They're just down that 1 VP, and eventually, if I roll over Earth's Gift or Field's Gift, Earth's Gift or Forth's Gift, I can do more. So poachers and islands are both worth 2. Poachers are worse because they force you to discard, although we've both got a bunch of green cards in the deck now. Islands are, you have to play them, but once you play them, they remove one of those bad cards from the deck. So I can see an argument to be made for both poacher and island in this kingdom. I will probably, if they get a poacher, I will probably get some islands because I already have 2 poachers, and I'm not wild about having to discard. It seems like you get into some bad spots. And then really I'm just fish. And then, so yeah, all I need to do is hit 4 ever. Obelisk is worth 2, right? Yeah. Okay, so start with Lost in the Woods. I've gained a silver. So yeah, I can always just vault and buy stuff. So I'm going to leave everything turtled. Turtled. Discard that. Play the vault. Try to find some village greens. Did not do it. So yeah, it said I was going to get islands. We're going to run down both the poachers and the islands. I think the poacher, since I only ever need to hit 4, I think I'm just going to go with poachers for now, and we'll see in a bit where we go from there. Yeah, this one's just going to take a while, unfortunately. We've got to run down the poachers, and then we've got to run down the islands. I may have to call one of my things here to give me a decent chance to hit. I'm going to play that next turn to start. I guess I could have turtled it as well, but I'm going to play one of those anyways, so. Oh, nuts. That was a... Huh, okay. That's unfortunate. I'll play the catacombs now. Sure, we'll put all of that in hand. And then I can turtle everything else. Turtle. Play the poacher. Okay, so my thought was that island would make it less likely for me to dud coming up. I do have a bunch of silvers, and I still have other cards I can draw. But maybe as seen by this turn, I have like a decent chance of dudding. So just keep going with the poachers and trash 2 coppers. Yeah, this is just a slow one. Normally somebody tries to break the tension of these earlier. Often someone tries to get a province and they think I won't be able to get one. But because I've got a bunch of stuff turtled, Lost in the Woods, +1 action, that's quite nice. I'm going to leave everything turtled and buy another poacher, I guess. The difference between turtling is just strictly better than playing the village green. So they got a poacher, so now I'm going to get a poacher, they're going to get a poacher, and then we're going to race. We're going to go down the islands, I guess. They've got... Okay, so again, take Lost in the Woods. I will take a silver on top, I guess. And then play one of those now. Then turtle everything else. Is a silver better than nothing? I think it is at this point when we're only looking to buy 4s. This is a little bit of a tough decision without very careful deck tracking. I think I'm probably going to play my militia now, just to guarantee it, and then I can next turn one of these poachers or village green. I just got an island. Oh, I got to take Lost in the Woods first. So that's the plus buy boon. So I want to try to get to 8 if I can. I'm going to play both these now. Let's see if I can get to 8. I missed an Earth. I missed a... We'll see if I can actually get this to work. Okay, so just play the vault first. And don't want to discard. So I just want to get to 8 and buy 2 islands. And then see if I can next turn this poacher. So I can discard 1 poacher for 1 and play poacher. Yeah. For... I can actually just discard now. Oh, I want to play 1. So I'm going to discard 1 here. Play the poacher, discard 2, and then next turn the catacombs, buy 2 islands. Are or sorry, not next turn, turtle. And having the catacombs down feels really good. Yeah, that was eventually going to happen, I knew. And I missed the Field's Gift because well, I don't know if I could have avoided it. I didn't have any treasures in hand, but it's at least conceivable I could have played around that. So now the question is, do they try to break here and just grab a province and hope? It's going to be really tough for them with me having a catacombs turtled. I think that's probably their best chance to win is either this turn or next turn buying a province. And I could go through the log and figure out what boons are coming up, but I'm not at the point where I feel like I need to do that. This has been a quite long. We've been going for almost 25 minutes. In latter games, sometimes I will just get the province and hope they can't hit it just to get an early win. I think I did it against my group play match against Not Too Bad. I just took the second to last province to only get a 3-point lead, and they actually missed it 2 turns in a row. I missed it 1 turn. So they missed it, I missed it, they missed it, and I got it in a really weird Coven Ghost Royal Carriage game. So they're setting everything aside. I can actually take a province now myself, right? If they take an island, I can just take a province. And they can't score enough points to catch up. It's like slightly riskier for me to actually call the catacombs, though. So if they buy an island, I'm just going to buy an island because that. Okay, so they did the smart thing. So I'm going to play this. Yeah, that's enough. Turtle. I don't think there's any boons that are so bad as to cause me to lose. Play now, and I've got 9 in hand, so we can just buy the last province. Okay, so that was a win. Took longer than I wanted to. Definitely had some issues with my play early on in the game. Didn't do right. They built a better deck. I think they need maybe a little bit more village green, and letting me have the Lost in the Woods the whole time just let me get there in the end. So good game to SSounder, and I move on to the finals.